Last week, Russia's new president, Dmitry Medvedev, with Putin's shadow not very far behind, was sworn in as the new president of Russia. To help us analyze the new Russia under President Medvedev, I'm joined by Margolis, a seasoned foreign correspondent who's been following Russian affairs for many years. Eric, what will this Russia under Medvedev be?
Well, probably plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose, but we're not really sure yet because two personalities are involved who remain mysteries. What we've had is a change of power, new president, young Dmitry Medvedev, who's been a longtime friend and protege of Vladimir Putin. I mean, they've known each other way back. He was head of Gazprom for a while. He's the man with the billions of rubles, the war chest, and the two have worked closely, but he's not a KGB man, which is noteworthy. What's happening is that Putin is following the Constitution, which is a first in Soviet Russian history, and he has resigned at the end of his term, and he's created a party, United Russia. The party has elected him party chairman, and he's also become the prime minister. But the real power, as of this moment, is held by the president, Medvedev.
Now, one of the questions Medvedev is going to have to deal with immediately is Iran. Russia has big investments in Iran. They're helping the Iranian nuclear energy program. They were just shipping nuclear energy equipment of some kind to Iran just recently. If there is a U.S. attack of some kind on Iran, or even just the continued efforts to diplomatically isolate Iran, Russia, more and more, is in a place of confrontation with U.S. policy. What are we likely to see there?
Well, the Russians have made very clear they're bitterly opposed to any U.S. military attack on Iran. A warning was issued by the Kremlin telling the U.S. not to use any military bases for such an attack that were in the former Soviet Union. That means Central Asia, Georgia.
This is where George Bush had his famous quote about the potential of World War III. It was really a shot across the bow of Putin.
That's right. The threats are going back and forth. Russia is now getting up off its knees. It's standing up again. It's reasserting its traditional interests. And it's saying to the U.S., wait a minute, you can't go charging into Iran. Very important trading partner for Russia, as well as a country of enormous strategic interest.
If there is a President McCain, what are we likely to see with a Medvedev and a McCain relationship?
Not good, because McCain has already gone out of his way to accuse Russia of being revanchist and being aggressive, and that he's going to face down the Russians. He wants Russia to go back to being Mr. Nice Guy of the Boris Yeltsin days, when the U.S. literally was the overseer of the new Russia. This ain't going to happen anymore. So with McCain, there's definitely conflict in the offing.
U.S. policy in Iraq and generally on the issue of oil has benefited Russia to a great extent. Oil at $120 a barrel has to be good for Medvedev.
Oh, and how Putin's comeback and his strength in rebuilding Russia is thanks to, in part, to the U.S. invasion of Iraq. So it's in part to Russia's interest to keep the pot stirring and to keep Iraqi oil off the market, which is happening. But in longer term, Russia's got to react strongly to a growing U.S. and permanent U.S. presence in Iraq and the heartland of the Mideast.
I mean, it's part of the problem of the politics of oil. It's in a lot of parties' interest to keep the pot boiling at a very high temperature. It's just sometimes that pots at high temperature boil over in spite of your best efforts.
That's right. It's a very dangerous situation. And as U.S. policy under Bush and perhaps under McCain becomes increasingly militarized, and the U.S. is stirring the pot in Georgia and in Azerbaijan, and in these very sensitive flashpoints for Russia, the chance of a military confrontation is increasing rapidly.